2, and 3.
I wish I could hide in Devin's room forever. I wish I could just sit there and be with him and not think about anything else. But I'm not allowed in Devin's room anymore, no, not since the day our life fell apart when Dad got home and he slammed Devin's door shut and put his head on the wall and shouted, "No, no, 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 no." Dad says it's time for me to go back to school, so I'm back in Mrs. Brooks' room. She's the school counselor. She says that because I have Asperger's, I need to work extra hard on my emotions so that I can understand other people. And that means working on my feelings. In our current neurotypical society, those with Asperger's and autism find themselves struggling to keep up with our ever-changing societal norms. And although we as a society have come so far in working to help these individuals, we still have a long way to go as we work to cooperate with one another, understanding our differences rather than trying to put up further barriers. 10-year-old Caitlin experiences this firsthand when she goes through the first major tragedy in her life, experiencing sadness and sorrow and unsure how to express that and how to understand the sadness of those around her. Mockingbird by Catherine Erskine. Mrs. Brooks says that she talked to my dad about Devin, about how he's gone. Caitlin, your dad tells me that you say things like Devin does this or Devin says that. He says that you want Devin to take you to the mall. You do understand why we can't have that, don't you? I know, but he was alive when he said those things. And well, Dad, he asked me what I want, and I want Devin to take me to the mall. I know that I can't have it. When I get home, I decide to think about what Mrs. Brooks said to me about understanding. So when I talk to Dad, I refer to Devin as Devin who is dead, so that he knows that I get it. But he just shakes his head at me. He says that he feels like crying every time that I say it. But Dad, I'm only saying it so that you know that I get it. He walks away. You know, I just wish that Devin was here because even when I try to get it, I still don't get it. And he always helped me. You know, Devin and I used to watch a lot of movies together. I remember the first time that we watched our favorite movie, To Kill a Mockingbird. He had read the book in class, and so we decided to watch the movie. And we sat down on the couch, and I waited the whole time for the dad to shoot a mockingbird because, well, he had already shot a dog, but he hadn't shot any birds. So at the end of the movie, I told Devin that is the stupidest title for a movie I've ever heard. And, well, he laughed at me. He said, "Caitlin, don't be stupid. It actually makes perfect sense. You see, it means that you shouldn't shoot someone that wasn't going to hurt you in the first place, someone that's innocent." You know, I used to not get the message of that movie, but I think I get it now. I just don't think that the men at Devin's school got this message because, well, Devin wasn't going to hurt them. He was innocent. Devin never hurt anybody. You know, Devin used to call me Scout. He said that I was just like her because I could solve any problem just by being. Devin was my best friend, and you know, sometimes even though I'm not allowed in there anymore, when Dad's not looking, I go and I sneak into Devin's room, and well, it just makes me feel so much safer and We even had a spot for me next to his bed. It was my spot anytime I needed to just hang out. And we even carved my special name Scout into the bed frame so that it was mine. Well, just sitting here makes me feel so much better. And I'm looking underneath his bed and I notice that there's a pile of woodworking books that, well, I never noticed they were there before. We put them down and, well, on top there's a list. It says Devin's Eagle Scout Project, mission style chest with quarter cut oak, 2 doors and 2 shelves. Devin was a Boy Scout. He was so excited to work on his Eagle Scout project. He spent months picking out the perfect thing to work on. And you can see his notes and the list of supplies that he needed. And at the bottom, there's a note. Practice teaching woodworking skills to Scout. Once she gets it, set up meeting to teach the troop. Devin was going to teach me. He was supposed to teach me, and now I don't know if I'm ever going to get anything ever again because he's not here to teach me. I don't feel good in Devin's room anymore, so I decided to open the door, and it's getting hard to breathe, and I start to try and run down to the living room, and I run into Dad, and he knows that I'm not okay, so he tries to calm me down, but I can't say anything, so I just sigh and look at his chest, and he sighs, and he's trying to cheer me up, so he says, Caitlin, you know, your birthday's coming up soon, what do you want to do? Well, last year, Devin took me to the mall. He said that I needed new clothes to fit in with the other 5th graders. So we went to the department store and he picked out 37 outfits for me. And I hated every single one. They were all just so itchy and scratchy on my arms and on my skin. And I was getting upset because it was just a bad feeling. And well, I was just getting so angry. And so Devin was trying to calm me down. So he said to me, Caitlin, the clothes aren't evil. They're not going to hurt you. But I was too far. It was too gone. I was too angry. So I shouted in the department store, evil, 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 evil. And I guess I was being too loud because he was getting nervous and anxious. So he tried to put his hand over my mouth to get me to be quiet. But I was so angry. So I bit down on his finger so hard as I could until he started crying. And there were tears in his eyes. Dad, do you think that Devin felt pain on the day our life fell apart? Do you think he was hurting when he was sitting in his classroom? Was he scared when the men came to get him? Was he scared? Was he hurting when the evil men shot him and took him away from me? Dad, Dad told Mrs. Brooks about my meltdown, so I have to go back to her office. But instead of talking to her this time, I decide I'm going to listen. And she tells me I need to find closure. She's told me that before, but every time I look it up in my dictionary, it doesn't make sense. So I decide to look in her dictionary this time to see if maybe she has a better definition. So I go and I find the entry for closure. The act of bringing to an end, a conclusion. I think about Devin's Eagle Scout project that never got to exist, how excited he was to work on it, how he was going to teach me. And I can hear my heart thumping in my ears, and it's really loud. And Mrs. Brooks asked if I'm okay, but I think I am. And I realize that I get it. I get how to find closure. And so I shout that to her and loud enough so that Devin can hear me up in heaven that I get it, I get it, I get it, Devin, I get it, please. And so I tell Miss Brooks, I have to borrow your dictionary. and I take it, I bring it home, and I bring it to Dad, and I show him all the woodworking books and beg him he has to take me to Lowe's. And after weeks and weeks of working, we have it. The mission style chest, quarter cut oak with 2 doors and 2 shelves. And along the back, we carved my special name. And for the first time since the day our life fell apart, I look at my dad and we smile at each other.